Well, welcome to MetroConnect, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We're so glad that you could be here for our first virtual tour of our 2022 MetroConnect season. This is the 5th year of this program. It's hosted and sponsored by Metro General Services, which is the department I work in our Division of Sustainability, and running our Socket program, which supports sustainability throughout Metro operations. And it's co-sponsored by Metro Human Resources. So a big thank you to Metro HR for supporting this program. I also want to say thank you to Metro Nashville Network and ITS, which support us greatly, especially for these virtual tours. They're the ones that have filmed the wonderful virtual tour that you'll get to see today. So big shout out to ITS and Metro Nashville Network. And finally today, we want to thank Metro Water Services, which is the department that houses the facility that we'll be virtually touring today. So thanks, Water. And as we get started, just a few kind of housekeeping details. So if you do have the ability to share your video, we would love you to do so. You can start your video. That allows us to see you and really connect, because a big part of MetroConnect, of course, is connecting with our colleagues and getting to know one another. If you don't have a camera, do not worry. When you're not speaking, please mute yourself just so we can hear the speaker. And we do encourage you to participate. You can do that by unmuting yourself and speaking, or by typing into the chat. So either way, we would love to hear your voice. And please note that this event is being recorded so that colleagues and others who may not have been able to join us today can join us at a later date. So with that, we'll move on to our agenda. Again, MetroConnect is designed to bring together Metro colleagues from across departments and divisions across city government to get to know one another, but also to be able to see some of the really exciting projects, facilities, and programs that Metro is involved with. There's always an element of innovation, and there's an element of sustainability, environmental sustainability. So we want to showcase, again, projects, facilities that are innovative and sustainable and exciting, and bring everybody together to learn about these and to meet each other. So today we're going to start with some breakouts. This will be a chance for you to meet with your colleagues in a small group setting. And we'll do a couple of short breakout rooms. We'll put you into rooms, and you'll get to chat for a few minutes. Then we will go ahead and do our video tour of the net zero energy facility. We'll have an opportunity for question and answer with our tour guide, John Barnett, who is also on the call, and you'll be able to ask him your questions. And then pay attention, because at the end, we will have a quiz to make sure that you are listening. All right, everyone, welcome back. Again, hope you got a chance to meet some new friends, some colleagues, and chat a little bit about what you do in your life to save energy and water. And now let's talk a little bit more about the main event and this cool facility that we're going to be touring virtually today. So, here we go. So this is Metro Water Services Central Administration Building. It is a net zero energy building, and it's Metro's first and only such building. That basically means this facility, it generates more energy than it uses. And so you'll get to see that and understand that more as we go along, but it's pretty awesome. It's really exciting and a huge sustainability step forward. The building is also LEED Gold certified. LEED is an international green building standard. It stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. And so LEED Gold is one of the highest categories of attainment there. You can see here, there's over 500 rooftop solar panels that generate all of that electricity, all of that energy that the building uses, and then some. And this facility, along with a lot of other work that Metro Water Services is doing, is instrumental in meeting our city's goal toward our renewable portfolio standard. So our goal is to have city operations run entirely on renewable energy in the coming decades. And so this is a big step toward making that happen. So we're very excited to take you on the tour. And here is your esteemed tour guide, John Barnett. He is on the call today. Some of you may have been in a breakout session with John. But John is a licensed professional engineer with over 20 years experience in both the public and private sectors. He's a site engineer at Metro Water Services, and he oversees wastewater capital projects, assists with plant process improvements, and assists with various plant maintenance activities. He also serves as Metro Water Services Program Manager for the Energy Management Program. John received a master's degree in engineering from the University of Kentucky. So we're very lucky to have him here with us today. And like I said, after we watch the video, John is on the call, and so he will be available to answer your questions. And yes, Laurel chatted that John won a huge award. We were talking about that before we got started. Congratulations, John, on the renewable award that you received for the great work that you're doing, not only with the Central Administration Building, but more generally with water services and renewables. So congrats. With that, Lauren, if you want to get the tour queued up, we'll watch it.
All right, and just let me know if you can see and hear everything all right then.
Hello, and welcome to Central Administration and Maintenance Building. My name is John Barnett. I'm the site engineer here. I also head up the Energy Management Program here at Metro Water Services. Metro Water Services is a water and waste services division. We have 3 wastewater treatment plants, 2 water treatment plants, and 1 biosolids facility. We also collect all the waste around the area, and we also treat stormwater in this area. The new maintenance building here is a Net Energy Zero. It is a LEED Gold certified building, and I'll point out some of these key features during our tour today. First, let's start on our outside tour. As you can see, the pervious pavers here allow some infiltration to occur instead of all the asphalt not soaking in the water that rains. This helps us in our LEED certification. Also, the building that was standing here was recycled. 98% of it was reused in some form or fashion. There's also this nice bioretention area that all the runoff from the impervious area drains into and slowly infiltrates into the soil over time. We also have these nice low lighting areas, so we don't have any light noise going into the air. We also have long overhangs on the roof that helps shade the windows during the daytime and provide efficiency for the office area. So come on, let's go inside and take a look at some additional features of this building. Welcome inside. A little bit about the building. This was built in 2021. We moved in October of 2021. This building has several unique features that help us to get to that LEED Gold certification. LEED Gold certification basically means that this is an environmentally friendly building with low energy consumption. Some of our electricity bills here will average all the way up to over $400,000 per month. So being able to save energy anywhere we can is very important to us. This building, being a net zero energy building, actually produces more energy than we consume here. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. I do want to point out a few key features in this area that help us to get to the LEED Gold certification. All of the materials that were used inside of the building are low VOC, that's volatile organic compounds. And that helps the environment not smell so strong of construction materials. So such as the carpet and the wall paint and even the ceiling tiles and the other material, construction material in this area have been thought about and put in place because they are low VOC materials. We also have nice lighting. The LED lights consume less energy. There's also a daylight sensor that's attached to those lights that will allow it to dim when sunlight is coming into the building. One of my most favorite features here is the HVAC system. As you can see, each room has its individual control. This one is set where it can heat to a certain degree and AC at a certain degree. So every person in the building that has an office is able to have their specific comfort zone programmed in the variable refrigerant HVAC system allows for energy efficiency and allows all of us to be comfortable to our own settings. Another key feature in our office areas are occupancy sensors. We have them both on our lighting as well as our HVAC. So when you come into a room, the lights will come on. When you leave, after 15 minutes, they'll automatically turn off, as well as the HVAC after you're gone for 30 minutes. This will allow the temperature to adjust 4 degrees, whether it's up or down, depends upon whether it's wintertime or summertime. So let's go to the low flow bathrooms and show some of the key features there. Even though we are Metro Water Services, we do like to conserve water as well. We have low flow faucets, urinals, toilets, and we've even thought about composting here in the restroom. All of our hand towels are placed in this bin and composted along with all of our food waste. From here, we'll walk over to the break room and take a look at it as well. In our break room, we even thought about efficiency when it relates to our appliances. We have Energy Star appliances such as our refrigerator, our microwave, and our stove. We've even thought about how do we reduce the amount of landfill material that we send from this facility. We recycle what material we can, and then we compost food material and compostables over time to reduce the amount that is going to the landfill. Now we're up on the roof. Even though this isn't part of the building itself, it's a key feature that I do want to point out. We've planted several trees along the berm area. This allows us to treat all of the water that comes and flows down in that area. It helps with infiltration, and it also helps us to reduce the amount of runoff that we have at this area. So it's a very key stormwater feature that we've integrated into the plant itself. I do want to talk about energy overall. All of our energy comes through NES. NES buys their energy from TVA. The energy portfolio that we consume includes less than 3% renewables. So it's up to Metro as a whole to make up that gap and have renewable resources, renewable energy in our portfolio. So let's walk over and take a look at the solar panels themselves. Just to give you a better perspective, this building is part of our Central Water Reclamation Facility campus. We sit on over 50 acres here in Salem Town. This is the largest water reclamation facility that Metro Water Services operates. We treat about 120 million gallons per day on average flow, and our peak flow coming through the plant will range all the way up to 350 million gallons per day. We're going through a big construction, as you can see, with all the cranes and everything here. We are actually increasing our flow through the plant. As I indicated before, this takes a lot of electricity, a lot of energy is consumed here to treat all of the water coming through this facility. That's why we want to be energy conscious. We want to save energy where we can. And this is a prime example of doing that. Up here on the rooftop, we have 514 solar panels. It generates 210 kilowatts of energy that's consumed by the building. Now, once again, this is a net zero energy building, which means the energy that's produced up here from the top on the solar panels, if it doesn't get used by this building, it gets used by the rest of the plant. So we will look at some components down in our electrical room in a bit, but just a little bit about the solar panels themselves. The sun shines, the electrons are transferred at the panel level. That energy is brought in at a direct current and is sent down into the electrical room where it's converted over to AC, which is used by the building itself. These two ports here are where the electrical goes down into the electrical room, which we'll go down and look at here in just a short time. Now we're in our electrical room. All of the solar energy comes down through here and comes into our inverters, where it's transferred from direct energy to alternator current that we can use within the building. All of this energy goes through a meter. This meter allows us to log in and actually see what production is occurring from our solar panels above. This allows us to monitor and also look for any kind of problems that might arise from the solar panels. All of this energy is fed back into our main panel. This is where all of our electricity goes out into the building. Anything that is not used here with the building goes back onto our microgrid and is used at the Central Water Reclamation Facility. As you can see, we have a negative number. That's actually what has been sent away from this area and is used by other processes. This is the main reason for the building being a net zero energy building. We produce more energy than we consume here. It isn't wasted or put back onto the grid. It's actually used here at the Water Reclamation Facility. All of this helps us to get to our LEED Gold certification, as well as all the other things that we have pointed out along this tour. If you have any questions or would like some additional information on what we have talked about today, you can look up nashville.gov/water. Thank you for joining us.
Great. Thank you, John. Thank you, Metro Water Services, for taking us on that behind the scenes tour of the Central Administration Building. And again, Metro's first and only net zero energy building. So everyone, you are welcome to show us your faces. If you want to show video, that is great. If not, totally fine as well. But now we have a really great opportunity to talk with John and use this time to ask some questions and get some answers about anything you saw in the video, anything you're curious about. Just very exciting facility that Metro has, and we want to hear more. So yeah, I'm going to open the floor. Please feel free again to unmute and ask your question. If you don't have audio or you would prefer, you can also put questions in the chat. But who wants to step up and be brave and kick us off? Okay, Vasu, I see your hand raised. Go for it. Okay, Pamela was first. All right, Pamela, you go first. Go ahead and ask your question, Pamela.
So does Metro plan to make more buildings like this, especially with those that are being built over there around the 1700, I guess 1600 3rd Avenue campus? Are more of those buildings going to be LEED certified or net zero type buildings with solar panels?
Sure, I can answer in regards to Metro Water Services, and then maybe Jennifer or Laurel can jump in for general services side of things. At Metro Water Services, we're currently building a new building out on County Hospital Road, stormwater building that whole campus will be net zero energy when we're complete with that. So that's going to put 3 buildings in that category. And our intent is to do this everywhere that makes sense. It does take a little bit more effort to get to that net zero energy. We're lucky here that we're on a big campus that uses a lot of energy. So to be able to push the energy back, we're not pushing it onto the grid. We're simply using it here on site. That made it a lot easier to get to that net zero energy here. So I'm not sure if General Services is taking a similar approach on any of their buildings.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I can jump in. Also, John, why don't you, because on that topic, you mentioned it stays on site, and Samantha Taylor had a question, or what specifically are the other facilities that do utilize that excess energy?
Okay, yeah. So this is a water reclamation facility. So a lot of what we do is bringing water in. We're pumping and moving the water throughout the facility. And then also it's a biological process. So we have to keep our bugs happy here. So we use a tremendous amount of electricity just blowing air into the water. So everything that doesn't get used here goes to that neighboring building where our blowers are, and all of it gets consumed at that location.
And yes, and Laurel, jump in if you would like. I would say yes, general services, which, as new buildings come online or major renovations for the city, we're often the ones designing, constructing, and managing those facilities. And just like John said, we utilize renewable solar in particular whenever possible. And so we currently have 12 facilities that have solar panels on the roof. Ground mounted solar is something that's in the works as well. So not rooftop, but ground mounted. But wherever it's possible to put on a new facility, or even in some cases retrofit, we want to do that. For example, we're building the new Donaldson Library, and that's going to be a very low energy use building, in part because it will have, a significant solar array on the roof. So definitely something we prioritize in our new construction and major renovations. Good question, Pamela. Vasu, do you want to unmute and ask your question?
Yeah. Well, one, John, congratulations on your award. It's very well deserved. Secondly, I have like 5 questions. Okay. One is I have seen, and you mentioned this, the aerobic activity in your wastewater, that the solid waste treatment is microbial for us. So could you elaborate a little bit more on that, and whether in the future there is a plan to diverge solid waste from water and not put them together in the first place?
To change the solid waste, is that what you're asking?
So the first is we have microbial treatment of the solid waste of the biomass. So I just wanted to know a little bit more about that, um, if you're familiar with the processes.
Yes, yes. It's just a conventional water reclamation facility. So a lot of the bugs are going through a process where the oxygen is being taken up. We monitor our dissolved oxygen within those aeration basins. Uh, and that's a way of us trying to refine that process. We're keeping our dissolved oxygen low enough to keep the bugs happy, but high enough that I'm sorry, keeping it high enough that the bugs are happy, but low enough where we still are able to complete the processes that are required to treat the influent coming into the plant.
Got it. The other questions I have is, do you have rainwater harvesting for reuse on your facility and gray water for reuse?
Actually, we don't. We did incorporate that into the original design, and we went through an analysis. When we first got the bids back, they were higher than we anticipated. So we went through a value engineering process to see what really needed to stay. We still wanted to get to that LEED Gold certification. So some of the things that were higher price, we eliminated. And by adding the solar on top of the roof, that helped push us into the gold category, and we were able to reduce some of those items. And that, unfortunately, that was one that did get eliminated because it was rather costly.
Okay. I have two more questions. One is, have you done modeling on the cost savings you get from energy efficiency versus the renewables?
No, I have not personally.
Okay, at some point, I mean, I'd be interested in doing that because we do need to establish a modeling baseline there. That's one. The second was, have you conducted a study on the energy water nexus, for instance? I mean, there was a report that was published by the state of California. Every gallon that's pumped out, this is how much energy it costs us. So there is therefore a mandate to reduce water consumption because it's directly related to consumption. So has a similar study been conducted for Nashville, for Metro Nashville?
Not a formalized, right? So we've got the 3 water reclamation facilities and the 2 water treatment plants. We keep tabs of those bills, and then we keep tabs of how much water we've treated. So every month we know how much money does it take to treat a gallon of water or a gallon of wastewater. So we do look at that and kind of see if it starts to deviate one way or the other, and keep the trends trying to go in the correct direction.
Yeah. In sometime in the future, I'd love to conduct that study. I'm just interested in the process anyway, just unofficially. All right, I'm done.
And actually, going off one of Vasu's questions about the solid waste, John, one of the things you mentioned in the beginning of the video is about how about 98% of the construction and demolition waste for this facility was repurposed or reused. And I know there's a biosolids connection. So can you tell, I love that story. Can you share that story with us so we
Sure.
can picture that? Yeah.
Sure, sure. So we had these 2 old buildings sitting here. The foundation wasn't the best, and the floor was terrible. But the buildings were still in pretty good shape. So we recycled what material we had to. And then some of the building we deconstructed and used at another facility to cover our biosolid pellets. That's our into the process. It's a soil amenity basically, and it's best if those don't get wet. They can cause some heat generation and some odor issues if they do get wet. So constructing this building somewhere that allowed it to stay dry helps us, and it helps the storage of that. So allowed us to recycle a huge amount of that, but it also helped to keep those dry. So it was a win-win situation there.
So that would go into the computation of lower embodied carbon for your building. Has that been done, the embodied carbon study?
Um,
I don't believe so, to be honest with you.
Okay, all right.
John, we had a chat about, there's a question in one of the breakout sessions about what's better for the environment and water conservation, specifically washing dishes or dishwasher. I will take a crack at it. Do you have an opinion, a professional opinion?
I don't.
I think, what I've heard is that, well, so first of all, like John talked about in the video, general household appliances or building appliances are becoming so much more efficient, both with electricity and water usage. So when you go to buy your dishwasher, your stove, your refrigerator, your microwave, whatever, your toilet, I mean, you want to look for, in most cases, an Energy Star label. If it uses energy, that's going to be an energy efficient appliance. Toilets and things like that, you want to look for a low flow model. And so, a newer dishwasher is going to be much more water and energy efficient than an older one. And then particularly, of course, if you buy one with Energy Star. So I would say if you have a newer appliance and you fill it up, so you don't want to run your dishwasher when it has like 3 things in it. Obviously, you want to fill up your dishwasher, get it completely to capacity, and then run it. And of course, one way of saving energy when you use your dishwasher is to not use like a heat dry setting, but just to let it air dry. That's a really big energy saver there. You can also, of course, run it on like a quick wash cycle versus a longer one, and that will save both water and energy. So, but if you hand wash, that's okay. You just have a few dishes, just hand wash them. Just don't leave the water running, would be my take. Who
There's
else has?
one more thing I wanted to add to that. Generally speaking, on the lower efficiency models, if there is a dishwasher that is more efficient on energy, they might be using more water. And some models that are more water efficient may be using more energy. So that is also true. And the other thing is, I mean, you can just put a tub in your sink, and then whatever dishes you wash, I mean, if you're a fanatic like me, then you take that water and then you can water your plants with it. So then you're using 100%, not 100%, but 90% of your water that way, reusing it. Reusing is better than recycling. So.
We probably have time for one more question. Who else has a question about what you saw on the tour? A question for John about the work they're doing at Water Services. And John, we did have a chat come in about if there's a website that has more information about the net zero building, if you could add that to the chat, then folks can follow up there. And we will post this video and this session on our website too, on the Socket website. So if you want to watch again and absorb some more information, you can. But anybody have another question for John in our last couple of minutes for this?
Hey, Jen, can I?
Adriana.
Yeah, I'd like to jump in. First of all, John, again, congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. It's really 2 quick questions. In the film you mentioned, I was trying to take copious notes. You said the energy portfolio is less than 3% renewables, and I just wanted some clarification. Are you talking about from what all of Metro uses, or just what all of Metro Water uses, or just from your site there at Central?
Uh, so it's mainly for this whole area, Adrian, and each area will vary a little bit, but and that's renewables is tier 1 renewables. So they do have some nuclear and some hydro that's mixed into that portfolio. So I think TVA calls that carbon neutral or something.
Carbon free.
Yeah,
CFE.
yeah, but it's not what we like. The mandate from council is to get to um, the tier 1 renewable by 2041. So it doesn't really fit in that, only that 3%. So that kind of leaves it up to us to get to that 95%, which is solar, wind, biogas, and I think waves or something like that. But we don't
Hydro.
have many waves around here. So that's why we've kind of made a big initiative to push solar forward first.
Okay, and hopefully a quick question. If not, I'll catch up with you later. But did you do in the beginning, in the preliminary design, did you do a direct cost comparison of what this building would have cost from a capital standpoint with conventional building, with all new materials, everything, versus how you built it with recycling a lot of material and then having to add all of the energy efficient equipment?
Yes and no. We basically started looking at lead silver as being the baseline, and then
Okay.
what cost we would need to get up to like a lead gold certification.
Okay.
And that's where we started kind of fine tuning some of those other pieces and parts.
Okay.
But if I can speak to that for a minute, it's a great question because you would imagine that a conventional building has lower capitalizations costs than a green or a LEED certified building. So the capital cost here would probably be higher, but the operational cost will be much lower. But if you are doing a regenerative building or a passive design building, as there is a building in South Africa that uses 90% less energy in air conditioning, heating, or cooling, then you can have lower capitalizations costs even in building and lower operational costs. So it's a great question, and it bears looking into, certainly.
Great questions all around. Thank you all so much. And John, I'm sure will avail himself and make himself available if you guys have other questions going forward. He's just at john.barnett@nashville.gov. So yeah, thank you guys so much. So we're going to now move into quiz mode. Hopefully you were paying attention when John was taking us through the building because we're going to do a little quiz. So here is, oh, you know what? Hang on. Before we do that, I'm sorry. I got to give you guys the way to join the quiz. Okay, so what I'm going to ask you to do is to go take your device, like a phone or something, probably easier to do on your phone than it would be on your screen. But you could also just open a new browser on your computer screen and go to this website, menti.com, with that link. And that is going to allow you to participate in our online quiz and to vote and to answer these questions. So go ahead, go to that website either on your phone or in a new tab.
I'm sorry. Oh, I see you put it in the chat. Okay.
Yes, it's in the chat there. So I'll wait just a minute while everyone joins and then we will start the quiz.
It says that the quiz is not open.
Okay, let me open it. Here we go.
Not yet.
That work for folks when you go to that
Now
website?
now it worked. It worked.
Great. Okay, so I'll give folks like another few seconds, go to that website on your phone or your browser, and we'll get started with quiz time. And there's a lot at stake here. You know, you could win a socket water bottle, custom socket water bottle with the Nashville skyline on it. I mean, okay. Or this is your choice of a water bottle for some of that good Metro Water Services water that we love. There's also a keychain. We'll throw that in with whatever else you get, but it's made of recycled rubber from recycled tires, okay? Or a socket t-shirt, because I mean, everybody who's cool is wearing the socket t-shirt. Or a tote bag, because we all carry our groceries and we always use reusable bags. So you get a socket tote bag. So the stakes are high, folks. All right, let's see if we've got all our friends. Oh yeah, here you all are, all the avatars. Okay, let's get started. There's going to be 5 questions. You're going to get points for fast answers and correct ones. How many solar panels are atop the net zero building? All right. Get your vote in now. Time is up. The correct answer, good job. I think you said 514, John? Yep, about 500 panels. So they just covered that roof with panels. It's chock full. All right, next question. Answer correctly and answer quickly. Which of the following is collected for compost from the net zero building? Most of you all are correct.
Oh.
So kitchen scraps and compostables from the kitchen area, as well as paper towels. I threw in the human excrement because we've been talking about biosolids, but it's not collected for composting. That's
Oh.
separate, you know, on site at the water reclamation facility, but not in the compost pile or not in the compost collection. All right, good job. Next question. Which of the following statements is not true? Excellent. That's right. Now, Vosi, you kind of gave that away. You asked this question, but that is the only sustainability feature of these that the building does not have. No rainwater catchment. That is something you can do at home, though. It's a great way to save water and save energy. What are VOCs? John talked about like reducing the smell with using different materials. So what do VOCs stand for? Very good. Volatile organic compounds. This is something you can look for in your own home. You know, you can reduce the amount of airborne toxins that you have in your environment by looking for cleaning products and all sorts of products that are low or no VOC, paints, glues, adhesives, all things like that. So think about VOCs as you're purchasing your products to keep your air quality clean. Okay, let's see how we're doing. It looks like Ashley is in the lead with Adrian a close second. Adrian, there is one more question, and Love Site, Skids, and Android, don't worry, you may be able to catch up too because you still have one question. All right, last question. Let's go, folks. Which are recommended ways to save energy at home? All right, that's right. All of these things are great ways to save energy. Your lighting, your washing your clothes in cool water, sealing gaps, and then, you know, keeping your thermostat at a reasonable level. I heard someone when we first started say, how can you keep your thermostat at 78 in the summer? Fans do help. But, you know, even if it's 75, that's okay. Great job. Okay, well, let's see. Drum roll, please. Who is our big winner? Ooh. Oh, Ashley, congratulations. Congratulations, Ashley. Good job, everyone. Excellent work. Ashley, if you will email me or Lauren Rhodes and let us know what you would like, you can claim your prize, whether it's water bottle or a t-shirt or tote bag. Great job, everybody. We appreciate you playing. Well, I want to thank John Barnett and Water Services again for taking us on this awesome tour. Thank you so much, John. And we appreciate it. It's really great work. Y'all, after the virtual tour today, we're going to send out a survey. So please take that, let us know what you liked and what we can do to improve this program. And also if there's facilities or projects you'd like to see in the future, we would like to feature them. So do let us know. You'll also receive a link to an audit. It's a workplace sustainability audit that you can take. As general services, we like to make sure our facilities and our environments are as efficient as possible, and you can help us by sort of being eyes and boots on the ground and seeing what's taking place in your office space or even a homework environment that could be more efficient, whether it's the water use, the energy use, waste, etc. So look for that. And then spread the word. We have 3 more virtual tours coming up in the coming weeks, as well as some in-person ones. You guys are our best ambassadors to share this MetroConnect program with your colleagues. So please let them know that they have an opportunity to sign up. And you may have seen that if you attend a virtual tour, like all of you are today, you're entered to win one of our awesome prizes. We've got Sportsplex passes, Music City Gold, trees, swag, all sorts of stuff. So You all are entered, and other folks who join our future virtual tours are entered as well. So a little added incentive. And with that, I want to thank you all so very much for attending today, and we look forward to seeing you on a tour in the next few weeks. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.